Hi, thank you for joining us at Mayfield Education for our pre-recorded information session today on the Certificate Free in Pathology Collection. This information session is made up of three parts, with Part A containing information about the course you're applying for and a little bit of background information about us here at Mayfield Education. Part B will specifically look at working in a pathology collection department, what it's like and what it entails. In Part C, we will go over the literacy and numeracy assessment, or basically, in other words, our pre-course entry exam that you need to complete as part of your application here at Mayfield Education. But let's get started with Part A and a bit of background information about us here at Mayfield Education. Mayfield Education is one of Victoria's leading staff education and training centres for the health and community services sector. For over 50 years, Mayfield has provided health training programs, and Mayfield Education is run by healthcare professionals for healthcare professionals. Our courses and services equip people with the practical work-related skills needed on their journey to becoming healthcare professionals. Mayfield Education is a not-for-profit, private registered training organisation, and here at Mayfield we aim to meet the training and assessment needs of each individual and will adjust the learning material and assessments accordingly to meet each individual's needs. Support will also be provided throughout the life cycle of your study time here with us at Mayfield Education to ensure that each individual is able to successfully complete their studies. All training and assessment delivered here at Mayfield is delivered in relation to industry standards and regulations, which are constantly updated on a regular basis. The course coordinators, trainers and assessors, sessional lecturers and clinical educators all continue to work in their specialised fields and bring the latest resource information to the courses for you. Now, before you look at starting with us here at Mayfield Education, there are a few things you need to consider. The first one, do you have any learning challenges? Sometimes people may feel a little bit uneasy about mentioning some of the learning challenges they may have, but we can't help you if we don't know about them. So it's really important that if you do have any learning challenges, you need to let us be aware of them so that we can document them in your pre-learning checklist. This will then enable us to make up an individual learning and training plan to suit those individual needs. So please do mention them during the interview process at the end of this application process, and we will make note of them and update your training plan with those needs. Do you have any pre-existing injuries? If so, you may want to reconsider the choice of course, as a job entails a lot of strenuous and physical work and can also be mentally challenging at times. Do you understand what the job entails? Being part of the health organisation is not a 9-to-5 job, Monday to Friday job. Shift work is involved, which includes early, late and night shifts. So it is important to be, made aware of what you're walking into. It is not a 9-to-5 job, basically. There are some industry and course requirements that you'll need. Now, as part of your course, clinical placement is a requirement. So prior to clinical placement, you are required to have a current national police check. Please note that these national police checks only last 12 months, so you will constantly need to update that. A current working with children check and a working with children card. Now, these working with children cards or checks, they last 5 years, so apply for it once and that will last you throughout the duration of your time with us here at Mayfield. You'll also need a record of your vaccinations, and if you fill out our Mayfield immunisation record, which you'll be given on your orientation day, it will fill out to make sure that you're vaccinated against hepatitis B and flu, gold testing for tuberculosis, and measles, mumps, and rubella. Now, like mentioned, you will be provided with a Mayfield immunisation record and report to go to your GP with as soon as you do start orientation here with us at Mayfield. You just simply need to get them to do a serology test on you to ensure that you're immune to all the diseases listed there. If you are, they'll simply sign that so you can hand it back into us. If not, they will prescribe you a course of boosters, which you will have to fully complete before you can hand that immunisation form in. If for any reason you are ill during class time or while on clinical placement, you will need to let us know, and a doctor's certificate must be obtained and sent to your course coordinator. Also, if you have any pre-existing injuries or allergies, we'll also need to be notified before you start your education journey here with us at Mayfield. The Student Information Handbook. The Student Information Handbook is available from the Mayfield Education website. Simply go to www.mayfield.edu.au, then click on Applicant Information, then click on the Student Information Handbook to download a PDF copy of that handbook. The Student Information Handbook contains relevant information that should be read prior to commencing your course. It contains information about Mayfield Education and what your rights and responsibilities are as a student. Now we'll briefly talk about credit transfer, RPL, and recognition of current competency. So for recognition of credits, if you've completed qualifications and/or units of competency that are exactly the same as within the course you're applying for, you may be eligible for a credit transfer. Recognition of prior learning. So again, if you've completed study in similar areas, you may be eligible for RPL. And then that finally moves us on to recognition of current competency. So if you've been working in an area but not have gained qualifications in that area, you may be able to be assessed and not complete some of the units within this course. So basically in regards to recognition of current competency, credit transfer or RPL, all the details for that are on our website. So applications for the above need to be made prior to the course commencing. So please read our student information handbook and review the details on our website if credit transfer, RPL, or recognition of current competency is an avenue you would like to progress down. So working in healthcare. What are the benefits of working in healthcare? What's it actually like? It is very rewarding. It is a great environment and does provide flexibility. It is physically and psychologically demanding though, and remember that healthcare is 24/7. Again, it is not a 9-to-5 job. So we've got some contact details here. Your course coordinator's name is Mr. Samuel Tang, and he can be reached at the following email address or the following number listed there. Our student services team or our student services officers are Miss Genevieve Helmsley and Miss Patty Conchata, and they can be reached at studentservices@mayfield.edu.au at the number listed here, or at the little windowed office just past reception in our main campus here at Hawthorn. I will pause on this slide for just a little bit more, but please note that all these contact details are listed on our website, as you can download and review this video on YouTube at any stage to get these numbers or to get the information at any time you need to again in the future. So now a little bit of information about the course itself. We'll first go over some entry criteria. So the ability to read, write, and communicate in English to a level required to complete the necessary duties in a sterilisation department are needed. You will also need a mobile phone to be able to be contacted, and access to a computer that you can use at any time and have basic level 1 computer skills, and also access to the internet and an email account as well. Here at Mayfield Education, we do utilise blended learning, which involves in-class activities, working at home, doing some self-study, some assessments at home. We do workplace experience and simulations, and we have reading materials and assessments which are all delivered online, which is why you need that computer with an internet connection and an email account as well. Course information. Attendance is again 1 day per fortnight, and compulsory 80% attendance is required for all scheduled study days. 100% attendance is required for all practical workshops, and your class times will be from 9 AM to 4 PM, and this may vary depending on the topic or the actual subject being taught on that day, or whether or not you're doing clinical workshops or you have exams in class. You are required to study, obviously. You are studying a course and it is a new skill that you'll be learning, and you need to be studying both at home and in class, but also by how much. Now we'd like to say that doing your nominal hours within class is excellent, and if you get average out around about 12 hours a week at home in regards to studying and assessments, it'll ensure that you're not falling behind. So how are you going to prepare to study at home? It can be very daunting for people that have never studied before. So with these helpful tips, they will help you to get ready to study if you haven't been in the academic space for a while. So the first thing to do, and the most important, is getting yourself a diary or organizer to write down when your due dates are, when class is, when assessments are due, when your placement's due, basically keeping track of all the components of your course and when they are due or when they're coming up, so you can always make sure that you're getting everything done on time and not leaving it to the last minute. Also organise yourself time and a nice secluded space to study where you'll be free from interruptions. Enlist the support of family and friends throughout your study period with us here at Mayfield, especially in regards to clinical placement, as you may need to lean on them a little bit more to help you out during this time. And develop constructive coping strategies to assist you with the stress that you may be going through, especially if you haven't studied in a while. Getting yourself a hobby and rewarding yourself for the work that you've done is an excellent coping strategy for you as well. So work placement. So as stated before, clinical placement is part of the course here at Mayfield Education, and clinical placement will be organised by Mayfield Education for those who are not currently working in the area. Students will need to complete up to 40 hours of voluntary work, and host facilities accept students on day shifts. Shifts may be up to 8 hours in duration, and the placement coordinator, myself, will organise the placement for you. You're encouraged to seek employment before the course finishes as well. What kind of career pathways do you have available to you? So for those of you who would like a challenge, there are further opportunities for you to study with us here at Mayfield in your career pathway. At Mayfield, we can offer you a certificate 3 or 4 in sterilisation services, operating theatre technician, or diploma of nursing. There are also a number of short courses that will enhance these certificates, for example, infection control being one of them. Please ask Student Services or see our website for further information in regards to the further course pathways and career pathways available to you. So now for some frequently asked questions. How long does it take to complete the course? Now we do say around 12 months to complete the course, but again, it comes down to how quickly you're getting your clinical placement completed and all your assessments and all your work that you need to do here at Mayfield completed. A lot of the assessments you will be doing at home online. A lot of the exams you will be doing at home online. So it really comes down to how quickly you want to progress through the course yourself, ensuring that you're submitting all your assessments and you're completing all your exams on their due date. I've just finished my course, so where can I look for employment? Go to such sources as newspapers, websites such as seek.com, and check organisation websites. There's a lot of organisations actually do their hiring internally through their own kind of website and their own kind of networks. So do ask around, join professional networks. These are places where you'll be able to look for employment. How much do you have to pay for the course? Please direct all payment questions to Student Services, as there are different amounts for funded fees and unfunded fees. What are the career pathways? Basically, once you've completed your course here with us at Mayfield Education, you could be a pathology department team leader or supervisor, or it could just be a foot in the door for you to actually work in the pathology department. How hard is the course? Well, look, the course is quite difficult for those who may not have studied before, who may not have had any kind of interaction within the healthcare sector. But like we mentioned at the start of this information session, support is provided to you throughout the duration of the course. And we need to know if there's any kind of learning difficulties that you have, so we can, I guess, tailor that learning plan for you. So yes, the course may be difficult for some, but we do offer you support throughout the whole life cycle of the course to make sure that we can get you all to complete the course within the due timeframes. So the pay awards. So again, please go to this website to actually search what the pay awards will be for once you've actually completed your course. This is the hourly rate that we've basically got here. Again, if you would like to get a more up-to-date kind of rate as to what the, I guess, the average wage is for this kind of employment area, please go to fairwork.com or the Australian Fair Work website. And search up any of the below job listings to see what the current, I guess, base award wage would be for working within that area. So the pre-course information and entry assessment process. So just like there was 3 parts to this pre-recorded information session, there are 4 parts to the actual application process as a whole. So you've already done the first part, which is the information session, which is this pre-recorded session. Part B is the pre-course assessment, or the language, literacy and numeracy assessment, which is completed online. So after you finish viewing this pre-recorded information session, if you would like to complete the pre-course entry exam, please go up and see reception or Student Services, and they will send you out a link to complete the exam to your email address. Once you've completed that exam, you'll need to take part in a one-on-one interview with the course coordinator, and then move on to Part D, which is going over a pre-training review checklist, where again we will ask if you have any allergies, pre-existing medical conditions, or any learning difficulties that we need to know about to make your training plan for you. As a whole, this whole process from start to finish takes around 2 hours to complete, and we will give you ample opportunity to move your car, call loved ones, check up on children, etc., if need be. So what happens after today? After you've completed all 4 steps today, you'll be contacted via email of the results of your application and LLN assessment. If successful, you will be provided with a letter of offer from Student Services. You will need to read the Student Information Handbook online, and you'll need to respond to that letter of offer, sign and accept this, and make your first fee payment according to the invoice prior to commencement to be able to come on board and study with us here at Mayfield Education. So thank you for attending today's information session. Please go up and see our administration staff to conduct the pre-course entry exam if you would wish to do that today. If not, please see them to book in for a separate day to come back and complete the pre-course entry exam. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck with the exam.